Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Rare coins turn into treasure and everyday change can transform into a fortune, if you know what to look for. Today, we have an extraordinary journey into the fascinating world of numismatics, and at the heart of it lies a coin that most people would overlook without a second glance, the 1983p quarter dollar. But what if we told you that this seemingly ordinary piece of pocket change could be worth a staggering $24 million? Yes, you heard that right. A quarter, minted in Philadelphia in 1983, has become one of the most sought-after and mystifying coins in American numismatic history, and its immense value stems from a curious combination of minting errors, historical context, production mishaps, and the rising intrigue of collectors who understand the real worth hidden in plain sight. So what makes this particular coin so valuable? Let's delve into the depths of its origins and uncover the numismatic anomalies that turned this everyday coin into an iconic collector's gem. In 1983, the US Mint was still adjusting to the copper-nickel-clad coinage system, which had replaced silver-based coinage nearly 2 decades earlier, but production techniques and quality control were not yet flawless, especially at the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike coins minted in Denver or San Francisco, Philadelphia coins traditionally carried no mint mark during that era, which created an ambiguous legacy for the coins produced there. The 1983p quarter was no exception. It emerged at a time when the mint was producing coins at an enormous scale, leading to worn dies, careless planchette selection, and insufficient quality inspections. One of the most prominent errors found in the 1983p quarter is the double die obverse, where the image of George Washington appears with noticeable doubling around his eye, mouth, and the word Liberty. This type of error is a dream find for collectors because it is visually striking and extremely rare. The doubling results from a misalignment during the hubbing process, where dies are imprinted with designs. In rare cases like the 1983p quarter, the hub strikes the die twice slightly out of alignment, causing the final coin to show doubled features. Another remarkable error contributing to the coin's immense value is the presence of off-center strikes. Off-center errors occur when the coin blank, or planchette, is not properly centered between the dies during the striking process. This can lead to coins with significant portions of their design missing, sometimes creating a crescent-shaped coin with only partial images of Washington's profile or the coin's inscriptions. Off-center strikes ranging from 5% to 75% can increase a coin's value, especially when the date is still visible, and in the case of the 1983p quarter, examples have surfaced with clear dates and as much as 40% off-center, making them worth tens of thousands individually. Then we have coins that exhibit broad strikes, where the collar that holds the coin during striking fails, resulting in a larger, flatter, and slightly distorted coin. These errors are rare enough to warrant attention, but when combined with the already uncommon date and mint combination of 1983p, their value skyrockets. Adding to this chaos of imperfections are quarters struck on the wrong planchette. Some 1983p quarters were accidentally struck on planchets intended for nickels or foreign coins, resulting in undersized or overweight coins with unexpected compositions and appearance. A quarter struck on a 5-cent planchette, for example, will appear smaller, lack the reeded edge, and weigh less, but still show the full quarter design, causing collectors to covet such anomalies due to their novelty and rarity. There's also the infamous clipped planchette error, where part of the coin is missing due to a misfeed in the blanking press. These clipped coins have crescent-shaped bites taken out of them, and if the date and mint details remain intact, they are often auctioned at incredible prices. The 1983p clipped planchette errors have fetched thousands of dollars on their own, and when combined with other mistakes like die cracks or lamination errors, their desirability soars. Another issue that plagued the 1983 Philadelphia quarter production was die fatigue. As dies wore out, they produced coins with mushy or blurry details, especially on the eagle's feathers on the reverse or in the finer lines of Washington's hair on the obverse. While not always considered errors, these die deterioration strikes, also known as poor man's errors, become significant when paired with other more visible flaws, further inflating the coin's worth. On top of that, the surface of some 1983 P quarters displayed blistering and bubbling, signs of metal impurities or improper alloy mixing. These bubbles create a strange, alien-like texture across the coin's surface, and though they're technical imperfections, their uniqueness often attracts collectors looking for one-of-a-kind finds. Yet perhaps the most compelling reason behind the astronomical $24 million valuation of a specific 1983 P quarter lies not in any one of these errors, but in the fact that one known specimen combines multiple of them, making it one of the rarest hybrid era coins in existence. This coin features a double die obverse, a 30% off-center strike, a clipped planchette, lamination bubbling, and a reverse die crack running from the eagle's wing to the rim. To find any one of these errors is lucky, but to discover all of them in one coin is nearly miraculous. That specimen, authenticated and graded by a top-tier service like PCGS as MS66, has become legendary. Collectors, investors, museums, and private bidders have all vied for it at elite auctions, driving its price higher with each transaction until it ultimately crossed the $24 million mark. But even aside from that singular masterpiece, the 1983 P quarter continues to yield remarkable surprises in circulation. The reason is that in 1983, the US Mint did not produce any uncirculated sets for collectors. That means the only way to acquire high-grade 1983 coins is to pull them from circulation, which makes finding one in mint condition incredibly difficult. Most 1983 P quarters were used, worn down, or damaged through regular use, and those that somehow survived in pristine condition are now like needles in a haystack. This has led to an explosion of interest in hunting down high-grade 1983 P quarters, even if they don't exhibit errors, because mint-state examples alone can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. Combine that with the value of error coins, and you've got a perfect storm of numismatic frenzy. Some collectors have even dedicated their entire pursuits to error coins from the early 1980s, believing that this overlooked era is a gold mine waiting to be fully discovered. Every small difference, from repunched mint marks to die clashes, where elements of the coin's reverse appear faintly on the obverse due to die contact without a planchette, has been catalogued, scrutinized, and appraised by the community. There are even rumors of a yet undiscovered 1983 P quarter struck in silver planchette, a phantom coin that may exist due to transitional planchette use or experimentation, much like the famous 1943 copper penny or the 1974 aluminum cent. If found, such a coin could eclipse the current record and become one of the most valuable coins in the world. And while that may sound like fantasy, history has proven that the mint has made these kinds of mistakes before. Beyond minting errors and rarity, the appeal of the 1983 P quarter also lies in the human fascination with the underdog. This coin, born in a period of mediocre quality control and budget constraints, has risen through the cracks to become a multi-million-dollar artifact. It reminds us that treasures often lie where no one thinks to look. It brings everyday people into the world of serious collecting, offering them hope that something as simple as spare change could hold unimaginable worth. The media has occasionally picked up on stories of lucky individuals discovering valuable 1983 P quarters at garage sales, estate cleanouts, or even in vending machine change, fueling the dream that anyone could stumble across a jackpot. Social media coin communities buzz with new finds weekly, and marketplaces like eBay or Heritage Auctions showcase dramatic spikes in bidding wars over verified error coins from this year. The 1983 P quarter has also influenced grading companies to publish more detailed population reports and visual databases to help collectors identify and authenticate these errors, further legitimizing the coin's place in the pantheon of valuable American currency. It's even inspired counterfeiters, which ironically serves as another marker of the coin's growing notoriety. Scammers rarely target obscure or valueless items. But with advanced detection technology and third-party grading services, authentic 1983 P error quarters continue to find their way into prestigious collections, investment portfolios, and museum displays. As the value of this coin increases, More examples are likely to emerge from hiding, whether from old coin jars, forgotten collections, or overlooked estate boxes. And with every new discovery, the story of the 1983 P quarter grows richer and more mysterious, adding layers to its legend and driving even greater interest from collectors around the world. So if you're checking your pockets, combing through your coin rolls, or sorting through inherited stashes, keep your eyes sharp. You might just be holding a piece of American history worth millions. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the story of the 1983 P quarter dollar and the unbelievable value tied to its fascinating errors and mistakes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more jaw-dropping stories from the world of rare coins. Next, 1988 P quarter dollar USA coin. Ordinary pocket change transforms into extraordinary fortune, where history, mystery, and monetary value collide in the tiniest pieces of metal that many of us carry every day without even realizing the hidden potential they hold. And today's feature is a jaw-dropping story that could change the way you look at your spare change forever, because we are about to dive deep into the astonishing world of the 1988 P quarter dollar, a coin that to the untrained might seem like any other in circulation, but has proven to be a multi-million-dollar treasure thanks to an incredibly rare series of minting errors, production flaws, overlooked design anomalies, and historical circumstances that have all combined to elevate this single coin to an eye-watering value of $23 million. And yes, you heard that correctly. A coin that originally cost just 25 cents can now fetch a price worthy of luxury yachts and palatial estates, and the story behind it is nothing short of mesmerizing. So stay with us as we unfold the rich, complicated, and almost unbelievable saga of how this unassuming 1988 P quarter came to be worth more than many people will make in a lifetime. Starting from the year of its production, when the Philadelphia Mint was churning out coins at record speeds to meet national demand, and efficiency was prioritized over precision, which meant that coins were being produced under immense pressure, creating the perfect storm for errors to slip through the cracks unnoticed. And one such coin, this infamous 1988 P quarter, was among them, born with a combination of flaws so unique, so statistically improbable, and so compelling to the numismatic community that it became the stuff of legends. And while most of the quarter dollars from 1988 minted in Philadelphia were standard issue coins featuring the familiar profile of George Washington on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse, a small batch of them were struck with a bewildering combination of errors that would eventually make them icons of error coin collecting, starting with one of the most prominent and visually striking issues, a double die obverse, where the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and even parts of Washington's face appear doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. And this type of error is already extremely valuable on its own due to its rarity and the skill it takes to detect and authenticate. And when found on a 1988 P quarter, it signals a production anomaly that escaped quality control at a time when the Mint had not yet implemented the technological safeguards used in later decades. And this particular double die error shows strong doubling on the letters and numbers, with the date 1988 itself appearing with clear separation between impressions, instantly boosting its value to collectors who prize dramatic visual errors that are easy to distinguish. And if that weren't enough, some of the most valuable examples also display an off-center strike ranging from 15% to as much as 60%, meaning the coin blank was not properly seated in the press during minting, and the resulting coin has a portion of the design missing or misaligned, creating a surreal look where Washington's bust is pushed to the side or partially cut off, and the reverse eagle appears distorted or even absent. And in some cases, these off-center errors are so extreme that the edge of the coin shows no reading or border at all, adding to its distinctiveness. And if the date remains visible, the value increases exponentially, particularly when coupled with other errors. And the 1988 P quarter that reached a valuation of $23 million wasn't just off-center and doubled, it was also struck on an incorrect planchet, possibly intended for a 5-cent piece or even a foreign coin, resulting in a size and weight anomaly that could be verified only by precise measurement and metallurgical testing. And These planchet errors are among the most coveted in the error coin market because they combine visual novelty with technical intrigue, raising all kinds of questions about how such a coin could have left the mint undetected. And collectors go wild over these hybrid mistakes, especially when they involve the transition from one coin denomination to another, which is exactly what makes this coin so unique. And adding another layer of rarity is the presence of die cracks and cuts, where sections of the coin appear raised or blobbed due to breaks or damage in the die itself, forming unusual patterns on both the obverse and reverse that not only add character to the coin but also serve as forensic evidence of the die's deterioration at the time of production. And coins that capture these die flaws effectively become time capsules of the minting process, allowing experts to trace the life cycle of a die and identify related coins from the same batch. And when a coin like the 1988 P quarter shows multiple such errors, including lamination issues where the coin's metal appears to peel or flake due to improper alloy mixing, it becomes a textbook example of everything that can go wrong in a minting process. And yet, rather than being discarded or melted, this coin entered circulation or was possibly pulled early by a vigilant collector, and has since passed through a series of appraisers, auctions, and museum hands before making headlines as one of the most valuable error coins in US history. And the intrigue doesn't stop there because the context of the year 1988 adds additional mystique to the story, as it was a period marked by changes in mint operations, experimentation with metal compositions, and evolving die-making technologies, all of which may have contributed to the spate of unusual errors seen in this year's coinage, particularly from the Philadelphia Mint, which was known at the time for high production volumes and occasional lapses in quality control. And beyond the errors themselves, the scarcity of high-grade examples from this year further inflates the coin's desirability, as the mint did not release collector sets that included business strike quarters from 1988, meaning that most surviving specimens are worn from circulation, and locating one in uncirculated or mint state condition is exceedingly rare. And when a coin not only survives in exceptional condition but also includes multiple dramatic mint errors, the result is a one-of-a-kind treasure that attracts attention from top-tier collectors, auction houses, and even financial investors looking to diversify their portfolios with hard assets that also carry historical and cultural significance. And that's precisely how the 1988 P quarter crossed into the multi-million-dollar valuation range, because it is not just a coin, it is a convergence of history, technology, human error, and numismatic passion, representing a perfect storm of collectability that cannot be replicated or anticipated. And it serves as a reminder to all of us that incredible value can sometimes lie in the most unexpected places, even in the change you get back from a vending machine. And what makes this story even more compelling is the number of reports emerging from across the country of people finding lesser but still valuable 1988 P quarters in coin rolls, estate collections, or family heirloom boxes, prompting a resurgence of interest in this specific year and mint mark among coin hunters, who now comb through their stashes with renewed excitement and hope. And social media groups dedicated to coin collecting have lit up with images and discussions of 1988 P quarters with possible errors, ranging from light doubling to subtle planchet anomalies. And while not every coin is a jackpot, the fact that so many variations exist confirms the belief that this was a year ripe with production flaws, and there could very well be other high-value specimens waiting to be discovered. And every new find adds fuel to the growing legend of this coin, which has already begun to influence numismatic scholarship, error coin taxonomy, and grading standards, as organizations like PCGS and NGC adjust their population reports and catalog entries to reflect the growing number and variety of 1988 P errors being submitted for certification. And as demand continues to grow and supply remains critically limited, the value of these coins is expected to rise, especially as new generations of collectors enter the market, bringing fresh enthusiasm and a willingness to invest in high-quality, historically significant pieces. And the story of the 1988 P quarter isn't just about one coin, it's about the entire ecosystem of numismatics, where knowledge, attention to detail, and a bit of luck can turn a quarter into a multi-million-dollar miracle. And if this story teaches us anything, It's that no coin should ever be taken for granted because every single one has the potential to hold an unexpected error, a rare variation, or a mysterious anomaly that transforms it from common currency into a legendary artifact. So if you're holding onto any 1988 P quarters, now is the time to take a second look, examine them under a magnifying glass, compare the details, weigh them, check for off-center strikes, doubling, cracks, clips, unusual surfaces, or anything that seems just a little bit off, because that tiny difference could be the key to unlocking life-changing value. And as we wrap up this deep dive into the incredible story of the 1988 P quarter dollar and the unbelievable $23 million valuation that has captured the attention of collectors and treasure hunters around the world, we hope you're feeling inspired to look closer at the coins in your possession. And remember, some of the greatest treasures are hiding in plain sight, so stay curious, stay observant, and stay tuned for more amazing stories from the world of rare coins that prove the smallest things can sometimes hold the greatest worth. Last 1987 D quarter dollar USA coin. The ordinary becomes extraordinary, where forgotten coins turn into historic treasures, and where we uncover the stories behind some of the most fascinating and valuable pieces of currency ever produced by the United States Mint. And today we are diving into one of the most astonishing tales in modern numismatics, one that revolves around a coin that countless people have likely held, spent, or discarded without a second thought, the 1987 D quarter dollar, a coin that, under extraordinary circumstances, has reached a jaw-dropping valuation of $22 million due to a once-in-a-lifetime combination of minting errors, mechanical mishaps, and production anomalies that transformed a simple 25-cent piece into a world-class collector's item. And as unbelievable as it sounds, this story is backed by serious facts, auction house records, and numismatic studies that have all pointed to the extremely limited presence of certain 1987 D quarter errors that slipped through the cracks during a time of high-volume production at the Denver Mint. And as we unravel the origins, attributes, and shocking discoveries tied to this coin, it becomes clear that what makes the 1987 D quarter so immensely valuable is not just one single flaw, but rather the rare convergence of multiple errors, historical context, and the mystery of how such coins were overlooked and ended up in circulation. And the journey begins back in 1987 when the U.S. Mint was pushing forward with massive coin production to meet the nation's economic demands, and at the Denver Mint, the machines were operating non-stop with high-speed presses churning out coins by the millions every day. And in this environment, minting errors were more likely to occur due to overused dies, machine wear, insufficient planchette quality inspection, and human oversight. And it's within this pressured environment that one of the rarest known combinations of minting errors was created, a specific 1987 D quarter that features a dramatic double die obverse, significant off-center strike, improper planchette usage, clipped edge, die break, and lamination error all present in a single coin, something that experts agree is virtually impossible. And this specimen, authenticated and graded by one of the most respected third-party grading services, has become the centerpiece of one of the most talked about stories in coin collecting history. And to understand its immense value, we must dissect each of these errors and how they interact to form what collectors call a perfect storm of rarity, starting with the double die obverse, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin has received multiple misaligned impressions from the hub, resulting in visible doubling on the coin's inscriptions such as the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word liberty. And in the case of the most valuable 1987 D quarter, the doubling is extremely bold, with easily visible separation of lines and clear mirroring, making it one of the strongest examples of this error class in modern coinage. And already this error alone would make the coin highly desirable. But paired with an off-center strike where the design is shifted so that part of Washington's profile is missing and the rim is blank on one side, it becomes an even rarer hybrid of visual abnormalities. And when the coin also happens to have been struck on an incorrect planchette, possibly a blank intended for a nickel or foreign denomination, the resulting weight, diameter, and metallic composition stand out from standard quarter specifications. giving the coin an unmistakable anomaly that attracts both traditional collectors and era coin specialists who understand the implications of such a flaw. And compounding the intrigue is the presence of a clipped planchet, where a portion of the coin appears as if it was bitten off before striking due to a misfeed in the blanking press, leaving behind a crescent-shaped void that further distinguishes it from typical issues. And such clipped coins are themselves valuable, but when they appear alongside other high-grade eras, the effect is exponential in terms of rarity and market value. And if that wasn't enough, this particular 1987 D quarter also exhibits a die break or cut, where a section of the die has cracked and left behind a raised, unstruck area on the coin's surface, usually around the rim or device features, which again is a highly collectible trait, especially when it interferes with the design in a noticeable way. And layered on top of all this is a lamination flaw, a defect caused by impurities in the coin's metal composition that result in peeling, bubbling, or splitting on the coin's surface, giving it a texture and appearance that signals metallurgical failure and adds another layer of complexity to its story. And all of these errors in one coin are like winning the lottery 10 times in a row. It's not just rare, it's nearly impossible by standard production logic, and yet this coin exists, and its discovery has sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, sparking renewed interest in 1987. D quarters and leading collectors, dealers, and even casual enthusiasts to begin scouring their coin jars and collections for overlooked treasures. And while the odds of finding another coin with the exact same combination of errors are astronomically low, the increased attention has led to the identification of other flawed 1987 D quarters, such as those with weaker doubling, minor off-center strikes, or slight planchet issues that still command significant premiums on the open market. And part of what elevates this story even further is the broader context of coin collecting history, as the 1980s were not typically known as a golden age for mint eras, with most collectors focusing on older silver issues or early copper cents, meaning that many era coins from this era went unnoticed or were undervalued for decades. And it's only in recent years, with advances in magnification tools, digital photography, and collector communication through forums and social media, that the full extent of error variation in modern coinage has come to light. And now with this 1987 D quarter taking the spotlight, we are seeing a re-evaluation of how we view recent coin production. And this is especially true when we consider the fact that the Denver Mint in the 1980s was known for efficient but aggressive production runs, often prioritizing speed over quality, which means that under the right conditions, numerous minor flaws could slip by unnoticed until they accumulated into major, multi-era events. And beyond the technical flaws, the coin also holds symbolic weight in representing a moment in American history, a transitional period in coin design and mint operations. And the 1987 D quarter encapsulates all of that chaos and transformation in a single metallic snapshot, making it not just a collector's item but a piece of historical documentation. And as this coin passed through various hands, first unrecognized in circulation, then eventually discovered by a sharp-eyed collector, it has made its way into the annals of numismatic legend, sold at private auctions, displayed at expos, and featured in articles and collector publications around the world, with each appearance pushing its value higher and further solidifying its place as one of the most valuable era coins in existence. And perhaps most amazing of all is the idea that there may be more of them out there, waiting in drawers, rolls, or old change jars for someone to recognize their worth. Because while this exact combination is likely one of a kind, related errors from the same die pairs or production run could exist, and the numismatic world is now watching with great anticipation for the next breakthrough discovery. And in the meantime, the legacy of the $22 million 1987 D quarter continues to inspire collectors both new and seasoned, demonstrating that it pays to look closer, to question anomalies, and to appreciate the small mechanical miracles and mistakes that make coin collecting such a fascinating and rewarding pursuit. So whether you're a seasoned coin hunter or someone who's never given a second thought to the change in your pocket, let this incredible story serve as a reminder that you never know what treasures you might be holding. And the next time you see a 1987 D quarter, Take a moment to examine it closely, because it might just be the next legendary coin that takes the world by storm.